Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you are a returning viewer, thank you so much. I am so sorry about all of the constant disappearing acts. I'm not going to make any promise or any commitments that I possibly can't keep, but just know that I'm going to be doing my best to upload videos. I don't know what the schedule is going to look like, but I know that I really enjoy filming. I, funnily enough, enjoy the editing process, so I know that I want to keep making videos. I just don't know how consistently I will be, but I'm going to try my best. So today I wanted to share my anticipated reads for 2024. I meant to film this video way back when, didn't get around to it clearly, but I do want to share some of the books that I'm really excited for. Obviously, a lot of these books have already been released, but I still have not read them, so they are still my 2024 anticipated reads. My first anticipated read of 2024 is In Education in Malice by S.T. Gibson, and this released on February 15th. This is a dark academia retelling of Carmilla, which is a classic vampire story, and Carmilla was the story about a young woman being preyed upon by a female vampire named Carmilla. And I actually read this story the very first time via Audible, so I listened to it as an audiobook. I absolutely loved it. I don't know if I would have loved it as much if I would have physically read the book, but the audiobook, the Audible audiobook, was fantastic. It was seductive. It was mysterious. It was a vibe. And so now with this dark academia retelling, I just want to know, if it stands up to the original. The second book on this list is Enduring Darkness by Raven Wood, and this released February 26th. This is the third book in the Kings of Blackwater, a bully romance series that takes place at a school for assassins. And I mentioned the very first book in my 2023 wrap-up / review video. I really enjoyed the first book. It had everything that I wanted in terms of like spice, like the specific spice bits that I like. It was really enjoyable. I don't know what this third book is going to be about in terms of kinks, like what kind of spice are we going to have in it, but nonetheless, I want to check it out. The third book on this list is The Unquiet Bones by Lorith Ann White, and this released March 4th. This focuses on the discovery of human bones, which reopens a 50-year-old case and rips apart the lives of a group of friends. Lorith Ann White is an author that I discovered 2 or 3 years ago. She writes these thrillers, these mysteries, and I love it. I have loved a lot of her works and I have checked out a lot of them. She's kind of an auto-read author for me. Overall, I really enjoy her work. Number 4 is another auto-read mystery writer for me, and that is Murder Road by Simon St. James. This released on March 5th, and this is about a young couple who finds themselves haunted by a string of gruesome murders committed along an old deserted road. Like I said, Simon St. James is an auto-read author for me. I have read a lot of their work. I always enjoy it. There's always an atmosphere of eeriness in her books that is unmatched, in my opinion. Last year, I had one of their titles on my 2023 anticipated reads list, and it ended up being just a short story, and I was devastated. It was still really good, but I definitely think this author shines the most in full-length novels, and so finally getting a new one. Next up is The Reappearance of Rachel Price by Holly Jackson, and this releases April 2nd. This story is about Belle Price and her family who decide to be a part of a true crime documentary which focuses on the disappearance of Belle's mother. Towards the end of filming, the unexpected occurs. Rachel Price reappears after 16 years. That summary, I was like, where'd she go? What happened? How'd she come back? What are the circumstances? What the heck happened 16 years ago? I am so excited for this book. Next up is another favorite thriller / mystery author. I never know the difference between mystery and thriller. Like, are those interchangeable? But that is If Something Happens to Me by Alex Finlay, and this releases May 28th. 5 years ago, Ryan Richardson's girlfriend, Allie, was kidnapped, snatched out of the car they were in, and while Ryan was the main suspect, there was nothing proving that he was involved. Allie never reappeared, and so Ryan did his best to move on. Now, Allie's car has been found in a lake. Only the kidnappers' bodies were found in the car, but no Allie. Only a note in her handwriting saying, "If something happens to me." I think I've only read 2 or 3 of their books. I think they're a newer author, but I have enjoyed the books that I have read by them. There are always so many twists and turns. When you think you're on the right path to something, suddenly everything is on its head. And I love that because I just never know. I never know where we are going with something in the best of ways. Next up on my list is one I was not expecting, and that is Ghost Station by S.A. Barnes, which releases on April 9th. This is about a space crew who must try to survive on an ancient abandoned planet after a gruesome murder. This author is the same author who wrote Dead Silence, which I'm pretty sure I read that for an October reading vlog, so I will link that up in the cards if you want to check it out. But spoiler alert, I did not enjoy Dead Silence. I think I gave it a 3 stars. I thought it was okay, but I think my biggest issue with that book is that it wasn't what I was expecting, or the way the book was marketed kind of led me astray. I thought we would get like a true horror book, which was not that. I think the biggest thing was the atmosphere. The author definitely created a very eerie atmosphere, but it was not necessarily horror. So with this second book, I am a little more hopeful because I feel like now I know what to expect. I'm not going into this expecting horror, like gripping fear racing through my veins. It's going to be more of just like, okay, I feel uneasy, like this is kind of giving me the creeps, but I know now. And last on my list, which I unfortunately do not have a summary for you. I could have looked it up, but I really wanted to film this video before the motivation left me, and that is Spectacular by Stephanie Garber. This releases November 7th, and holy moly, I am so excited. I bought the Barnes & Noble edition, so I cannot wait to get my hands on that. Stephanie Garber, if you do not know, wrote the Caraval series and also the Once Upon a Broken Heart series. Is there a shorter name for that series? Because my goodness, that is a mouthful. I believe Spectacular is going to go back to the Caraval world with the Caraval characters. So it's been a little bit since we've seen them. I haven't finished Once Upon a Broken Heart series, so I don't know if they make reappearances in that, but at least in books 1 and 2, we don't see a whole lot of them. So I'm excited to get into the Caraval world again, see what's going on. Again, I have to admit, I think I am just more excited for the book and the book cover because they just look stunning, very Christmassy-like. And those were the books that I am most excited to read in 2024. I have to admit, reading has been very slow this year, but I'm still hopeful that I will be able to get to the books on this list. But as you can see on my sweater, but not really well because I got this very oversized, but I am in my bookworm era. I'm trying to manifest the bookworm era. I want to get back into just reading for the joy of it. But yeah, that's it to this video. Let me know down in the comments which of these books sounded most interesting to you. What is a book that's on your TBR, or what is your most anticipated read of 2024? And as always, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, and I will hopefully see you next week.